I finally got my hands on the Nitecore MH25 Pro. Is it worth all the hype that it's getting? Let's check it out. This is everything the MH25 Pro comes with. I'll give you a look at the box, typical Nitecore box right here. Comes with a nylon holster that's held together by Velcro. You guys know how I feel about these holsters, so let's move on. Comes with a black split ring removable two-way pocket clip that is either lens up or lens down. I like that. In this bag is a lanyard and some spare O-rings, some Nitecore socials, user manual, a Type A to Type C charging cable, and the Nitecore MH25 Pro itself. So let me put all this off to the side. I'll give you guys a nice close-up of this bad boy right here. And while you guys are checking this out, let's talk about some of the features. All right, the MH25 Pro has a maximum output of 3,300 lumens, a maximum throw of 705 meters, and a max beam intensity of 124,300 candela. And pushing out those 3,300 lumens is a single Nightlab UHI 40 LED. It features two user modes. Daily mode has 5 brightness levels and 3 special modes, which is strobe, beacon, and SOS. And tactical mode, which has 5 brightness levels and only 1 special mode, which is strobe. And those modes are controlled with dual switches, a tail switch and a side switch. The body is CNC'd out of aluminum and has a Type 3 hard anodized finish. Inside is an NL2153 HP 3.6 volt, 5,300 milliamp hour, 21700 rechargeable lithium-ion battery that can be charged with the USB Type-C charging port on the body. There's a 1 meter impact resistance and an IP68 dust and waterproof rating. The 6 means it's completely dustproof, and the 8 means it's submersible in up to 6 feet of water. All right, let's talk dimensions. It has a length of 6.05 inches and a head diameter of 1.57 inches. And according to my weight test, it comes in at 7.1 ounces. That's 200 grams, and yes, I did weigh it with the battery in it. So the MH25 Pro and the MH12 Pro have been getting a lot of hype since its release. If you guys missed my review on the MH12 Pro, I'll put that down below in my description box. And overall, I really like this flashlight. It's pretty impressive. 3,300 lumens, 505 meters of throw, and the MH25 Pro is 3,300 lumens, 705 meters of throw. And there's a lot of similarities between these two flashlights. The lumens and brightness levels are exactly the same in both of these flashlights. They both have the same emitter with the UHI 40 LED. Now, of course, the runtime and the throw are a little bit different in both of these flashlights, and the MH25 Pro is slightly longer and the head is a lot bigger, as you can see. But other than that and the weight differences, they're pretty similar flashlights, and they both sport Nitecore's brand new updated look. As I mentioned in the MH12 Pro review, I am a big fan of this 1 millimeter deep spiral knurling right here on the body. It's honestly one of the better feeling flashlights in your hands. It just feels nice and grippy. And if I get in really close, you can see what I'm talking about. It's just a nice beefy knurling right there. And the exact same thing on the MH12 Pro. And they both sport the brand new side switch right there. It's a textured rubberized side switch. And I'm a fan of this change. I really like how this feels here. And it has the exact same power LED indicators and brightness level indicators. So if I turn it on from the tail switch, you can see those 4 LEDs indicate the power level, and the blue LEDs right there indicate the brightness level. And I'll go over this more in depth when I talk about the UI, but as I press the mode switch right there, you can see it gets brighter and changes those LEDs. So this new interface right here, I'm a big fan of. I love boot up power indicators, but this, it doesn't go away. It basically stays on the entire time the light is on. I don't mind it so much, but I can see how a lot of you would think this is annoying. Just have that green glow constantly on your flashlight. But basically every LED right here indicates 25%. So 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, and 75 to 100. And just like on the MH12 Pro, it's a very clicky side switch. If I get close to the mic, it's very satisfying, very high quality feeling. I like it. But if I get in real close side by side, you can see the sheer size difference in those mode buttons. The MH25 Pro has a much larger button than we saw on the MH12 Pro. And it's just a larger flashlight overall anyways. Side by side like this, you can see how much longer the MH25 Pro is. The body and the tail switch are exactly the same diameter, but check out the differences in the head size right there. There's a huge size difference in head diameters right here. And that's going to make for a much different beam pattern and a much longer throw in the MH25 Pro. I'm not sure if the camera is picking it up very well, but that emitter on the MH25 Pro is pushed way back. You can see that right there. It's a lot more shallow on the MH12 Pro. That's going to have a lot to do with that extra 200 meters of throw on this bad boy right here. And then looking at the tail switches here, they're the exact same tail switch, same rubberized button. Oh man, that was bright. But if I give you a close up, you can see for yourself the exact same button and tail switch. It has that U-shaped design with these tabs on the side with some attachment points right there so you can put the lanyard, and because it is a U, you can tail stand it. Now, granted, it's not the best tail stand in the world. You can see it's a little bit wobbly, but regardless, you can still tail stand it, which I'm a big fan of. And on the inside, there's the exact same 5,300 milliamp hour battery as we saw in the MH12 Pro. But one thing I wish Nitecore did was give us a dual spring system. There is no springs at all. You can see there's no springs inside here. Whoa, let me turn that down a little bit, but there's no springs down there in the head. Let me see if I can get that. See that? No spring. And then, of course, no spring right there in the tail cap. Regardless if you consider this a tactical style flashlight or not, my tactical style flashlights, I like to have a dual spring system just in case there's any impacts that happen with the flashlight. There's no interruption of the light or anything. But even in my EDC flashlights, I like to see a dual spring system. I would consider this a pretty decent light duty flashlight, a great flashlight for law enforcement. I just think it has the perfect size, the perfect lumen output, and the perfect throw for law enforcement use. And yes, it does come with this nylon holster right here with the Velcro on the back for an attachment point to your belt or whatever you want to put this on, plastic ring on the back. I don't like these type of holsters, but if you absolutely must carry it in a holster, it comes with it. Or if you want to carry this as an EDC flashlight, you do you, but it does come with a two-way reversible pocket clip, split ring pocket clip right there, where you can have it lens up or lens down. You can see if you want it lens up right there, or you can put it on that tab right there for a lens down carry. But that's enough talking about the body. It's typical Nitecore quality. Everything here feels great. So now let's quickly talk about the lumens and runtime. So as I mentioned before, the MH12 Pro and the MH25 Pro have the exact same brightness levels and the exact same lumen output. Ultra low at 1 lumen, low at 50 lumens, mid at 300 lumens, high at 1200 lumens, and turbo at 3300 lumens. In daily mode, you have your 3 special modes, strobe, beacon, and SOS, all with maximum 3300 lumens. I love that. And the only difference between the two flashlights are the run times and the throw. Then you can see the rest of the run times right there, but I want to concentrate on that 30-minute runtime on turbo. Of course, you're going to see an asterisk right there, so I'm going to test that a little bit later on in this video. Anytime you see an asterisk right there, that's going to mean it's a total runtime from turbo and step down all the way to basically dead. I'm not going to test a flashlight till it's dead. I'm basically going to do a 2-minute turbo test. And I'm going to say the same exact thing I said with the MH12 Pro, that I do like the mode spacing right here, but I do kind of wish there was a high 2 or some kind of a mid turbo, something in between that 1200 and 3300 lumens. It doesn't have it, that's perfectly fine, but still, I'd like to see a mode in between with a little bit better runtime than just 30 minutes. Now let's talk about the UI. If you guys saw my review on the MH12 Pro, you can go ahead and just skip this section because it's exactly the same. Tail switch right here activates the flashlight, a half press for momentary on and a full press for constant on. And then to switch the modes, just press the mode switch right here, low, medium, high, and turbo. To reach the ultra low 1 lumen mode, just hold in the mode button and press in that tail switch. There's 1 lumen. And when the flashlight is on, press and hold the mode switch, and that cycles through strobe, beacon, and SOS. I like the fact that daily mode has all 3 of those, but I don't like how you have to access those by holding it down. Maybe I should rephrase that. Holding it down to access the modes are fine, but if I hold the button in and reach strobe and let it go, If I press and hold down again, I can't reach the other mode. See how it just goes to a constant brightness level. So I don't like the only way to reach SOS and beacon is to constantly hold through the other special modes. I wish there was another way, another better way to do that. It does feature a mode memory, so if I put it on low right there, turn it off, turn it back on, it goes right back to low. Now the mode memory only remembers low, medium, high, turbo, and strobe. It ships in daily mode, and to switch that to tactical mode, you have to do the exact same thing to activate ultra low. Press and hold the mode switch, turn it on, it's gonna switch past ultra low right there, and now it just flashed. Now we're in tactical mode. In tactical mode, the brightness levels are reversed. So it starts on turbo, high, medium, and low. If you click and hold, you can access strobe, but there is no SOS or beacon in tactical mode. And to switch it back to the exact same thing, press and hold, go past ultra low, and flash. There we go, now we're back in daily. There is no button press lockout to lock out the MH25 Pro. Just give the tail cap a quarter twist, and now you're locked out. So regarding the UI, it's pretty simple with just a single press on the tail switch and clicking through the mode button right there. That's as easy as you're gonna get. I'm not the biggest fan of dual user modes, so I can maybe do without a daily and tactical mode. That's just me. I want a more simplified UI with a flashlight that if I'm just gonna put it in a backpack or if I'm using something for work, I just wanna pick it up, press the button, and see what I want to see. I don't want to have to remember all these button presses, especially if I have multiple flashlights that I use, which I do. So 2 months from now, am I going to remember that you have to press down the mode button and push in the tail switch to switch those user modes around? Probably not. Well, maybe I will because it's my job to review these flashlights, but the average person, probably not. I'm just saying, if you're using this for light duty work or for law enforcement, you just want to pick it up and go, and that's it. You don't want to have to remember all these fancy button presses. All right, now it's time for my not so scientific heat and turbo test. Here I let the flashlight run for 2 minutes, and then I take its temperature at the head and then at the body after 1 minute and then after 2 minutes. And this flashlight really handles the heat well. So after 1 minute at the head, it was only 93 degrees Fahrenheit. That is excellent. It does have a bunch of heat dissipating fins all over the place, and those are definitely doing its job. At the body, it was only 86 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's almost nothing. I mean, that's crazy. After 2 minutes, the head rose to 101.1 degrees Fahrenheit, and the body rose to 89.4 degrees Fahrenheit. So running it on turbo for 2 minutes, it doesn't get hot at all. It's very impressive, especially at 3,300 lumens. But I'm not sure if you guys saw in the video, but that step down from turbo was right around 30 seconds. And it wasn't a gradual ramp from turbo to high. It was a click. It was a very hard step down. Usually I don't see it when I'm doing the test, but I definitely saw it right around 30 seconds. But I'll put on the screen right now the time it started to step down and when it ended the step down. And maybe that has a lot to do with its low temperatures on turbo because it only lasted up right around 30 seconds at that full 3,300 lumens. All right, let's do the beam test. I'm going to start on low. I'm just going to bypass ultra low, and there's low right there, 50 lumens. Look at that, already hitting that tree. And let's just pan across. I wonder if I can hit that barn over there. Oh, easy. Easy, even on low. That's pretty impressive. So I'm just gonna give you guys a shot right in the grass so you can see that UHI 40 with that round emitter. I'm not sure if I don't even think I talked about that in the video. I talked about that in the MH12 Pro video, but that round emitter is gonna make for a almost perfect hotspot right there, and you can see that. And then that larger head, we should get a more floody beam than on the MH12 Pro. So let me go to medium. That's gonna be 300 lumens. Wow. That hotspot is pretty intense. Just look at that beam profile, man. That is very crispy. I like it. Very nice. There's high 1200 lumens, and I can see that. It's like daylight. I easily see those trees right there. Give you a shot of that beam. Wow. That barn right there. And now let's go to turbo. I'm going to keep it right there. Turbo. 3,300 lumens. There we go. You can see the field. There's a cornfield right behind this. Those shrubs right there is corn. So you can kind of see some of those trees behind there. Not a problem at all. That is an intense hotspot. Look at that. Very intense. And I'll kind of pan left and right so you can see just how wide that profile is. And I think I just clicked down. Did I just click down? I couldn't tell. I was looking at the camera. But the pattern, the beam profile here, everything looks pretty darn good. And just for the heck of it, I brought the 12 out too. So I'm going to compare that to the 12. Let me switch hands again. I had to switch hands because I'm holding my phone. So that is low. I can't find the button there. That's low. You can see the hotspot is a little bit bigger here. Medium. Yeah, definitely a larger hotspot on the MH12 Pro. There's high. See that? It's actually a lot larger. Wow. And there's turbo. So low, still sort of hitting that barn on low with the MH12 Pro, but not nearly the same throw as the MH25. You can definitely see that here. And there's turbo. So there is a big difference in beam profiles here between the 12 and the 25. And of course there is. That head size is much smaller on this flashlight here, but I'm more impressed with, look at that hotspot. It's a lot tighter here and a lot brighter. Obviously, the Candela is so much brighter than the MH12 Pro, but the hotspot is a lot larger on the 12 Pro. So let's move on to the next location here. So my conclusion of the MH25 Pro, is it worth the hype? Well, that depends. With both of these flashlights, the MH12 Pro and the MH25 Pro, I think combined, when you're talking about them in the same family, yeah, I think they're worth the hype. Especially this being $89.95 and the MH25 Pro being $99.95. Only $10 more, but they have the exact same UI, the exact same lumens, the exact same brightness levels. The only thing that's different here, size and weight. The run times are worse, but it has better throw. And you saw what both of these look like side by side when I showed you the beam test. This is a very impressive flashlight, but so is the MH12 Pro. And as similar as they are, the beam profiles were different, which is to be expected with the head diameter differences right here. So why is my answer, it depends, when the question is, was it worth the hype? Yes, it's a very impressive flashlight with 3,300 lumens, 705 meters of throw, but being $10 more at $99.95 versus $89.95 right here with the MH12 Pro, do you really need all the extra throw right here when you get better run times in the same lumen output right here in a much smaller body? I guess that's all going to depend on you and what your specific needs are. Right now, if I had to choose which flashlight I would use more often, it would probably be this, because this is more of an EDC friendly size here, as opposed to the MH25 Pro, which I think is a great light duty flashlight and a good flashlight for law enforcement. Which means for somebody like me who isn't in law enforcement and doesn't need a light duty flashlight for work, this would go right inside of my car or just inside of my garage so I can easily grab it to scan across the lawn that I have here. Because don't get me wrong, this is a great little portable searchlight. You guys saw how well this can throw out there. So yes, I do believe these two MH series flashlights from Nitecore are definitely worth the hype, but it all boils down to what exactly do you need in a flashlight and which one of these will work best for you. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you think of the Nitecore MH25 Pro? Now, if you want to check this out for yourself, I will put links down below in my description box. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. And go!